See here, first process is here isothermal process or isothermal change. So, what is isothermal process? See here, a change in pressure and volume without any change in temperature is called isothermal process or change. Suppose you have got a cylinder like this, and here some gas is filled and there is a tightly fitted piston. It has got certain parameter pressure, temperature and volume. If the gas is allowed to expand such that its pressure and volume changes, but temperature remains constant, then this process is known as isothermal process. There are certain examples, like one you can take the melting of ice. When ice melts, temperature remains constant. So, the ice at 0 degree Celsius and water is also at 0 degree Celsius. So, when the ice gets converted into water at 0 degree Celsius, there is no change in the temperature. But see here, there is no change in the temperature. So, this process is referred as isothermal process or isothermal change. Similarly, during a boiling process. So, during the boiling of the water, again there is no change in the temperature. So, that process is also known as here isothermal change or the process. And also, when the gas is allowed to expand in a cylinder very slowly, or it is compressed here also very slowly, so that there is enough time to exchange the heat between the system and the surrounding. So, for this process here, these walls of the cylinder must be dithermic. It means perfectly conducting. So, if the walls of the cylinder are perfectly conducting, that means the dithermic wall, in that case if gas is allowed to expand slowly, so whatever the temperature, there is a decrease in the internal energy, that energy comes from the surrounding to the system, and by this way temperature remains constant. Similarly, if the gas is compressed, there is an increase in the internal energy, increase in the temperature. Walls are conducting, so the heat is actually going to the surrounding, and by that way temperature of the system remains constant. So, if the gas is allowed to expand slowly or compress slowly, then this system or this type of the changes in the system are known as isothermal changes. So, for the to take place isothermal change, two certain conditions are required. One is here, walls of the cylinder must be perfectly conducting. It means there should be transfer of the heat between the system and the surrounding. And second one also is here, the process should take place very slowly, so that there is enough time to exchange the heat between the system and surrounding. Now, see in isothermal process, temperature remains constant. So, the relation between pressure and volume can be given here, PV is equal to here constant. So, this is also known as Boyle's law. Now, if we draw a graph between V and P, V versus P graph is drawn, keeping temperature constant, then such type of curve is obtained. This is P here, this is V, and the curve obtained is in this manner. Suppose at temperature T1, if you increase the temperature, this graph will become like this. This is for T2. So, here we can write here T2 is greater than T1. So, this curve is known as isothermal curve.